Hello there. Good evening once again. Welcome to Employee Engagement Live. Once again, I'm Shrikant Acharya, CEO at offineeds.com. And today is scheduled to be the 23rd episode of Employee Engagement Live. And I had a very interesting guest, but unfortunately, there's been an emergency in her family, and a close relative has been tested COVID positive, and unfortunately, she's not able to make it today. So, first of all, I want to wish everyone a very happy New Year, and in the context of the um, probable third wave that is happening, I would like to request everyone to take care of yourself and prioritize being available for your family, for your colleagues, and for your loved ones. But since we are all here, and anybody who's joining this, whether you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, I want to apologize for not being able to make it. We will reschedule, and we will bring Sunitha back in another episode very soon. But I thought I'll take this opportunity to kind of recap the 22 episodes that we have done. So this is not going to be a full-fledged episode. Sorry to disappoint you. We don't have our guest with us today, but I'm going to do a quick run through the last 22 episodes. I'm going to take you through some highlights of who we spoke to and some of the top points that they shared with us on Employee Engagement Live. So here goes. All right, I'm hoping that you're able to see my screen. And here goes. This was the 22nd episode, which I did on 17th of December. This was with Kaushik Gopalan, who's the senior director of HR at New Star Inc. Now, Kaushik spoke passionately about a lot of things, but one of the things that I took away, and a great point, was about use of rewards in employee engagement. How use of rewards is an age-old practice that has proven in motivating people, and it should not be just looked at as a monetary element, but far more as in the emotional context. That was a great conversation I remember having had. In the 21st episode, we had Yasmin Sheikh, who's a senior director HR at and she had some really interesting points. It was a very energetic session with Yasmin, and something that I will never forget is that she said, never stop learning. It motivates you to learn and defeat challenges which you come across. That's very important, I feel. And establishing great learning and development practices is very crucial to keeping the employee engagement, employee effectiveness, and employee experience very high. In the 20th episode, we had Govind Negi, who is the Senior Director of Talent and Delivery Center for Three Pillar Global India. And that was a great conversation that I had with Govind Negi. And some of the things that he said is that the most important qualities of a good leader include taking effective action. A leader must inspire people to do things they never thought, right? This is something which I resonate very well with. A great leader can make sure that you execute at a level you never thought you were capable of. A courageous leader always aims higher for the team. That's the role of the leader, to be able to show the path to achieve something far more than an individual thought that he or she is capable of. In the 19th episode, we had Nitin Kumar, who is the AVP of HR at Infra.Market. And Nitin is a champion in the CSR space, and he had some great merchandise tips, right? I love these tips specifically because of the kind of business that I run. And he felt that merchandise is an amazing tool that can be used to increase the perceived value of the organization, increase the employer brand building, increase the employees' commitment to the organization through merchandise and so on. He said most companies in India seem to underutilize the power of merchandise. In the 18th episode, I interviewed Dr. Ankita Singh from Signex Datamatics, Ahmedabad, and that was another fantastic conversation. And we spoke about stress. And one of the things that she said is that no matter what you do in today's day and life, you cannot run away from stress, because it's going to be there. What you need to do is to learn to manage that stress, deal with it, and still be able to grow. And I remember her speaking about the power of meditation and the power of being able to disconnect and connect back to work almost at will. And the 17th episode was with Ketan Krishna, who's the head of HR at Rento Mojo. Um, he spoke very passionately about employee engagement, and I remember him specifically saying the future of employee engagement is personalization and predictive analytics. Personalization is something that came out very strongly in a lot of conversations and a lot of interviews. What was very clear is that different people have different requirements. They're in different phases of life, and how you engage with them depends on where they are. So the ability to segment your employees and to be able to engage with them in different modes and using different strategies is the key to having a great effective employee engagement within the organization. In the 16th episode, I interviewed Nancy Vaddi, who's the Vice President Marketing and Communication at Accenture. And Nancy is a strong believer in the power of telling stories. Right? She doesn't like to say something as it is, but likes to use stories to be able to improve employee engagement. And I remember her quoting that we connect with each other in the form of and understand each other through storytelling, and storytelling becomes a very important part of branding and corporate communication. In the 15th episode, we interviewed Ramesh, who's the director of Balotsav, which is an NGO, and it's an organization which helps companies take initiatives specifically in the education space. And he spoke about the impact of engaging employees through CSR activities. And he spoke about how employees can feel more their purpose being achieved more if they're able to connect with the CSR activities that are being taken by a particular organization. In the 14th episode, I spoke to Sandeep Kochar from Blue Minds, and that was another very energetic interview which I had, and he spoke about how employee engagement is the thread of activities that helps in binding people to an organization. I remember him saying, everything that you do that can help you get your employees closer to the organization is what will help them stay longer with the organization. In the 13th episode, I had Nimisha Chatterjee, and she spoke about effective mentoring skills. She spoke about empowering managers to become mentors so that they can help their reportees to be able to become better professionals, to be able to grow faster in their careers, and therefore be more attached to the organization. In the 12th episode, I spoke to Ranjit, and Ranjit is a strong believer. He comes with a huge amount of experience in the HR space, and he's a strong believer in the importance of learning and development. He said that people will stay with an organization if they have the opportunity to consistently learn and consistently grow and consistently upgrade their skills. So it's very important that an organization constantly keeps encouraging their employees to learn the latest, whatever it is in their field, whether it's happening in a physical world or in a remote kind of a situation. In the 11th episode, I interviewed the dynamic Shruti Bopaya, and it was a fantastic conversation. And she was of the opinion that she was speaking very highly of the role of merchandise. Using branded material around workspace helps promote the brand, create a sense of unity amongst employees, and helps them engage in team spirit. She was a big fan of using branded merchandise to welcome new joinees into the organization and so on. So that was a small highlight from a very powerful and very insightful interview. 10th episode, I had the opportunity to interview Dimple Martin, who is the associate director for Silicon Valley Bank, and she was speaking very passionately about how you deal with your employees and how you are available for them during vulnerabilities. So during the pandemic, SVB did a phenomenal job of helping its employees as well as its vendor base through different initiatives. And she spoke about how important it was and what are the initiatives that they took to make sure that they're available for the employees and the families of the employees through the pandemic. In the ninth episode, I interviewed Partha Niyog, who is the co-founder and CEO of Vantage Circle. Vantage Circle is a rewards and recognition platform, and we spoke about the role of technology in improving employee engagement. And we spoke about how technology has become so much more relevant now that we live in a remote working or a hybrid working environment. And we spoke about different kinds of technologies which can be used to hire people as well as to encourage collaborative working. The eighth episode was with Namita Tiwari from Delhi, and she is an awesome storyteller. So it was a very insightful interview speaking to her. And one of the questions that one of the guests asked in the show was, how do you get employees to participate? And her answer, and that was a very important question, right? And she said that it's important that you set a safe space for employees to be themselves and encourage every little contribution, create healthy competition, and give out rewards so that employees are not feeling like this is some HR thing that somebody is doing, and they feel excited about being a part of the initiative that is being taken up. It could be any events, online events, or anything like that that might be organized. The seventh episode was with Ghanshyam Pantji, who's the author of a book called Power to People. And he spoke about conducting surveys, creating an action plan, and executing the plan, and doing all of this really fast, because sometimes you conduct a survey and you sit on it for about 6 to 9 months, and then nothing happens, right? So he was strongly of the opinion that executing the plan is extremely important to be able to help improve employee engagement within an organization. My sixth episode was with Vinay Trivedi, who was at that point of time head of human resources Tone Tag. And we focused a lot in that conversation about a lot of things, but specifically I remember speaking about how employee engagement starts from the time you hire an employee and onboard that employee. So one of the most valuable tips that he gave to all the HR professionals is not to overpromise the candidates, and be realistic and only offer what is really possible, and make sure that you highlight what is in offer in that particular role in the organization. Try not to compete with what somebody else is offering or anything like that, and make sure that when that offer is made, those promises are kept up, to making sure that the employee engagement is starting from day zero. And then I remember interviewing Ashish Gakre, who's the founder of HR Shapers. HR Shapers is a community of HR professionals, and we spoke about things to keep in mind while evaluating a candidate. One of the clear things to evaluate a candidate is communication, but how do you really evaluate for communication and body language during remote working and during remote interviews? That was something that was spoken about. If you want to understand more, go back to that particular episode, and you're going to love that. In the fourth episode, I interviewed Sumukh, who's the recruitment program manager at Preon Business Services, which is an Amazon partner for India. And he spoke about making onboarding experience remarkable. Right? He's a pro recruiter. Please follow Sumukh on LinkedIn, and you will see amazing tips from him on how you can optimize your recruitment and onboarding. And he spoke about some amazing tips how you could improve the quality of onboarding and make sure that we all believe that a job well started is a job well done, right? And that's where he gave a lot of amazing tips. The third episode was with Dinesh Kirti, who's the Associate Director of Corporate Communications at Flipkart. And we spoke about a bunch of things. Among that, a few of the things that we spoke about are some of the initiatives for employee engagement that were taken at Flipkart. We spoke about quiz competitions, about annual awards, about webinars, about cooking and baking and exercises and games. And I remember even speaking about a specific activity which they had, where people could show their pets And I remember him saying that as a part of that activity, somebody was back in his hometown and they introduced everybody to a cow which was there in that person's cow shed. So that was a very interesting conversation, and giving employees an opportunity to come out with their hobbies and their passion. The second episode was with Vikas Dua, who's the author of HR in My Heart. Um, you know, this was the second episode, and it was really, really exciting for me to speak to somebody as accomplished as Vikas. And there were a lot of tips that came in, but I think one of the important things that I remember from that conversation was the importance of recognizing employees' hard work. I remember him saying, praise in public, reprimand in private, and spoke about recognizing somebody's hard work so that they're motivated to go that extra mile. And the first episode ever of Employee Engagement Live was with Yugandhar Penubolo, who's a good friend, and he's the founder of a company called Windsor, and he's also an author. And he spoke about these 5 things as the pillars of employee engagement. He spoke about value and purpose. He spoke about communicating consistently and transparently. He spoke about health and wellness. He spoke about recognition and incentive, and he spoke about personal growth and development. So those are the 22 accomplished professionals that I interviewed in the past 22 episodes of Employee Engagement Live. So I see Mandavi Jaikar, you're asking where can I find all these episodes. I'm going to share the links to some of the episodes and some of the places where you can find these, and hopefully you enjoy that. So thank you once again for joining. I'm sorry that Sunitha could not join, but I promise to come back every single Friday with a new interesting conversation with somebody from HR or corporate communication on leadership, and we will be speaking about employee engagement strategies, ideas, and philosophies. Until then, take care and have a fantastic weekend. See you. Bye-bye.